All right, so before we get to the last topic or two here, I wanted to show off Windows 11. I have it installed in a virtual machine here. Obviously, I had this plan before suddenly everyone had videos on it, and it's still not running looking super great because it's just running in VirtualBox. I did not have time to set up, like, Unraid or anything to run it on hardware, and this is not the correct aspect ratio, but there are some interesting notes like the rounded edges design on the start menu. None of this is present on, say, actual Windows like Explorer yet, even though they have new icons and things like that. Obviously, this isn't even a developer preview. It's not a beta. It's not something you're supposed to test, so half of the features are missing. But it gives you a general idea of what it looks like. When you first installed it, I had posted on Twitter, you get to supposedly choose your ad experience, which ends up just letting you select if you want ads for like gaming or entertainment or whatever. I think that's pretty ridiculous. But you can see the design language they're going for here, which is this rounded edge, kind of more blurred design. They do have, by default, have the start menu on the centered spot here, but you can make it left adjust somewhere. I don't have this activated, of course, because I don't have a key. But I do believe in the personalization settings, they did provide options to actually left justify the start menu, and then there is a registry key you can adjust to bring back what they call the classic start menu, which is just the Windows 10 one. But obviously most of my personalization options are kind of locked out at the moment because I don't have, it's not activated, and I didn't feel like throwing a Windows 10 key at it and seeing if it activated just for the hell of it. There are some start menu options. So yeah, the issue is that so far this alleged Windows 11 is just a skin for Windows 10. Like, there are some behind the scenes features, like for example, there's a new option to remember where your monitors are based on your, whenever you disconnect or reconnect a monitor or whatever. Who knows how well that works? I will test that once we have a more stable build. What I do like here, one of my favorite features, even though, as Linus noticed in his video, I can't just middle click to open a new instance of an app, which is absurd. That is absolutely insane. They will need to restore that back ASAP. I can't even right click on this. I have to right click on, it's still not giving me another window. See, that's just dumb. But a feature I wanted to show you here. Oh dear, I don't want, why is it full screen? What? Okay. Cool, give me, I don't care. Give me my, all right. So something you have is on the minimize, actually I think it's just the unmaximize button here. You get some more controls for snapping, which hopefully that means that they are improving snapping as well. But for example, you get to establish a layout. So I can say I want this to be here, I want this window here, and I want this window here. Now if I pull up another window, like the Microsoft Store, which by the way, this is not the new revamped Microsoft Store. This is the same Microsoft Store that we had in the first place. But if I go back to a window, I now have either I can hover and find just the individual window itself, or I have a group that's saved with the specific position that I just snapped all these windows to, which is not something we have in Windows 10 right now. So this is pretty sick because I can choose to either just select the individual window, for example, if I have others in this layout, or I can select this entire window group, which is really phenomenal. And yes, I'm sure that the middle click is not just due to it being in a VM. But yeah, so that's one of the things. You have some better multi-desktop support for virtual desktops, which apparently also cooperates with multi-monitors a little bit better. But overall, for the most part, it is just a Windows 10 skin, which is not to be a surprise. Like, people have already dug in and found that the kernel itself is Windows 10. Which is not to be surprised, given that the code name for this, which is Sun Valley, was also just the name for the 2021 H2 update for Windows 10. As far as the discussion of, was this supposed to be the last version of Windows or whatever, originally, apparently that quote comes from someone who supposedly just misspoke and meant that they were just working on the latest version. Which is dumb, because if you say the last version of something, that means the previous version, not the current version. So even that didn't make any sense, but they rolled with it and were like, yeah, this is Windows as a service. We're going to keep Windows 10 going forever. And they worked really hard to get this whole unified kernel and shared OS across everything going. And for the most part, it's kind of worked out, but they have had some failures, like Windows 10X didn't come out in time and things like that. And so it seems like they are using Windows 11 as kind of like a rebranding point to where it's still effectively Windows 10. Granted, Windows 7 was Windows 6.1, so you have that. But it's still effectively Windows 10, but it's kind of a rebrand point to try to keep things going. I think it's kind of stupid. The naming scheme is kind of dumb, but that's what we're looking at so far. And again, this is a leaked preview that isn't even supposed to have any features yet, so it remains to be seen what the actual operating system will look like with actual features and updates. But yeah. Oh, actually, before we get to that, I wanted to mention that also, more reason to believe that they're just migrating everything over to Windows 11 is they also already announced an end-of-life date for Windows 10.